Nobody told me nothing. I didn't even know I was supposed to be on here. Y'all, I scheduled this live like 3 days ago. And I'm over here trying to get my son to sleep. And I look at the little group chat and they're like, are you going live today? And I was like, oh my gosh. I totally forgot. I apologize for my tardiness. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. If you can hear me in the chat and you still know that your head coach will be here for the 2024 season, drop the heart. That's the color of your school. Let me see some blue and white. Let me see some yellow and red. I guess yellow and red can represent Bethune-Cookman and UAPB. Oh, and they getting on me in the chat. We got blue and white. We see a lot of blue and whites because if you know that your head coach will be here for the 2024 season, let me see the color. I only see blue and white over in here. Somebody said Willie not going nowhere, but I don't see no orange and green. And I know a couple of y'all are in here. Where's the orange and green at? Oh, all blue and white.
Hello. Hello, guys.
Braxton with his guest appearance. Ooh. It's real quiet around in these streets. Listen, I'm going to put allegedly. Everybody that's in the chat right now, can you please type in the chat allegedly? Allegedly. We got big news in the SWAC. I'm not going to hold y'all for long. I'm really not. I'm not going to hold y'all for long. See, because Mr. Ford came here in October and he came on the show and he was talking about the SWAC and how the Swac West needs some realignment. The Swac West needs some realignment. But it looks like we got, oh my goodness. We got it coming from everywhere. And Grambling fired Coach Hugh. So what I'm going to do is, because we're saying allegedly, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go off of hearsay. I'm going to pull up the news, the sources that I'm getting this information from. So while it is, you can call it Wendy Williams, TMZ, you can call it whatever you like. The news reports are out there. The news was out there. And I didn't, it's not something that I'm just making up out of thin air. So we don't know. Is Willie headed to the FBS? Allegedly. So we're just going to go over it as to why I would even say something like that. And then we're going to talk a little bit. I don't even want to talk about Ed Reed. He makes me so mad. And the people who are even discussing him as a head coach of any HBCU. But allegedly that has some teeth to it too. That there's a possibility that he might, go to Grambling, which, okay. So if you're Grambling, would you really want to take on that type of coaching right now? I mean, he's never ever held a position at the helm as head coach. So do you really want to take that on? And did you really just fire Hugh for that? I mean, so let's look at the timeline for why I'm I'm saying that he has a stealthy contract. I think it's like a 10-year contract. A long contract. Dang, they tell all his business. How did that even happen? I just was able to pull up his whole contract to see how much he makes. Brother Bakari says going to FBS might not be so good. So for me, I would think like Tulane is kind of like a Colorado. It's not a program that any black coach should necessarily want just because it's FBS, because the exiting coach said that Tulane is not invested in the program. All right. So head coach Willie Simmons has a head coach position till 2032. That is a long time. So with that being said, because he has such a long deal, maybe this was to get possibly a restructuring, maybe a pay raise. Maybe that's what that was for. So technically, me doing this live is not hating. If anything, I'm invested in making sure that Coach Simmons gets his money, because guess what? When rumors fly and folks start talking, wallets start opening up. So don't think that I'm hating just because I'm talking about it, because that's not necessarily hating. If anything, it's doing the opposite. But he signed a contract until 2032. So that's a long time. So after 5 years with the Rattlers, Coach Simmons announced on social media he signed a 10-year extension that will keep him on the highest of Seven Hills through 2032. That is a long time. I don't know how they just produce his contract like that, but everything, I guess, is public information. This particular thing, well, I guess that was his let's look at his original contract. So his original contract was signed in 2017. So obviously, you know, he's been making heavy gains in the FAMU football department as far as winning. Hey, absolutely. And that's my thing. If folks can get on, which, like I said, I'm all about returning energy. So Mr. Campbell, I would never start a rumor. I don't start rumors. I don't do that. I might share them, but I don't start rumors. I didn't start that. I did not start that. I don't know why folks keep saying that about me. I didn't say that. Okay, so here's the first one. Let's look at the first one. I don't have a timeline today, y'all. I don't have the timeline. Normally, I have a timeline. All right. So, he's been linked to numerous jobs in the FBS. This is Sports Illustrated. So how am I starting stuff? You need to talk to Kyle T. Mosley, okay? Because he's the one that did it, not me. Willie Simmons could be an excellent candidate for Tulane. Willie Simmons may be ready for the next step as a head coach. Tulane could be a great destination. And I don't even know why he said that Tulane could be a good destination when the Tulane head coach said it's hard. And guess what I just did? I dropped a link because guess what? If I'm going to say something, I'm going to provide some sort of news article to back up what I'm saying. And I'm pretty sure that everybody over here that goes to HBCU Legends, I'm sure Fan Nation or this article, I'm sure that you don't call Mr. Kyle T. Mosley out, who also said that Ed Reed is right when he talks about HBCUs. Y'all not calling out Mr. Mosley and atting him on Twitter. We really not. And this is my thing. I'm just doing the same thing that you guys did when Coach Prime was leaving. Y'all gonna lose. Y'all not gonna be relevant. Y'all gonna do this. Y'all gonna do that. Let's keep that same energy. Why we can't have the same energy? Mr. Campbell, if you would like to come up, you can report the ones that actually interviewed. But as we all know, if it's one thing that Jackson State knows, we know how people can get interviewed, and the person that didn't even interview can sometimes get the job, right? People can get interviewed, and then they don't even hire the people they interviewed. They just go right on ahead and hire somebody else. So them rattlers. All right, let me read this article. This article was done by none other than Kyle T. Mosley. And if you would like, I dropped the link for that particular article. As I said, I'm SheLovesThee. And so if I'm going to make a statement, I'm going to base it off of something. I'm going to have a pinpoint to start from there. And then I'm going to give my opinion. So before Florida A&M won the 2023 championship on Saturday, Willie Simmons' name was a hot commodity in the coaching circles. He's already won the 2023 Swac Coach of the Year award, and this article was done before he was announced. So he is the 2023 FCS Coach of the Year. Simmons is an intelligent and well-respected coach, has built winning programs at Prairie View and Florida A&M. The logical step would be running a small but talented Division I team. Now, of course, I will never agree to someone moving up to a small, talented FBS just so you can get 20 more scholarships. It ain't. One thing that's so nice about me having my own channel is I control the conversation. I love it when I control it. Now, I can't control the chat. But I can control my narrative.
Mom, you gotta come look at my room.
Okay, I'll come look at it in just a second. Okay, let me finish reading this. I don't know why y'all over here. I ain't never seen Mr. Campbell type so fast. That boy got them fingers moving. Tulane University recently lost their head coach, Willie Fritz, who will accept the same job at the University of Houston. Fitz restored the Green Wave brand, leaving the football program in excellent shape. Last week, Tulane hired Northern Iowa's David Harris to become its director of athletics. Oh, who did say? Courtney Gaucher, deputy AD at Tulane, was the VP of athletics at Florida A&M from 2019 to 2022 and worked with Coach Simmons. So, if it's one thing about those snakes, they'll come back and bite you. I don't think Courtney Gaucher is a snake, though, but he did have some issues. So this is Mr. Courtney Gaucher. He used to work at FAMU. So now he's at Tulane. He's at Tulane. So is he being messy by tapping FAMU and saying, hey, hit me up. Let's talk for a little bit. Because who leaked this article? Who leaked the article? But that's Mr. Courtney Gaucher. And as everybody knows, there was a debacle with Mr. Gaucher on signing contracts and not having the proper signatures or the proper authorization to move forward with some of the contracts. So a couple of the contracts that they said were not, he didn't pass it through the right people. One of them was, I guess, like a NASCAR deal where a car was wrapped in Florida A&M gear. So Tulane does have a new AD, but like I said, that's why it's important for reading and interpretation. So Tulane hired Northern Iowa's Davis Harris to become its director of athletics. Courtney Gaucher is deputy athletic director at Tulane University. He's the deputy athletic director. So he still is the deputy athletic director of operations and capital projects. So he's still there. They said that Willie ain't hiring, or they said that Tulane's not hiring Willie. Listen, I didn't say it. They did. What y'all getting mad at me for?
Okay, come.
So, Mr. Campbell, why Gaucher has absolutely nothing to do with the interview process. As we all know, somebody knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and they can slide somebody's name across the desk. Come on, Mr. Campbell, you know better than that. Why are we acting like people don't get jobs every day based on who they know? Why are we acting like that? And another thing, why are y'all acting like what I'm saying is just are we looking at the same things? I didn't say it, Mosley did. Let's read on. Anyway, for right now, the primary goal for Willie Simmons is to win the 2023 Cricket Celebration Bowl against Howard University on Saturday. Still, should he win and claim the 2023 HBCU Division I National Football Championship title, interviewing for the role at Tulane would be a positive step in his career progression. What y'all think? He don't like it, do he, Mr. Banks? Listen, I've always said this. These other SWAC schools cannot take what they dish out. They cannot take what they dish out. Y'all was talking all that mess. We was over here whooping from east to west, north to south, just everywhere. And we just took it. And now I'm returning the energy, and they cannot take it. So let's look at another job that he was that has since been filled. I mean, this isn't his first time being his name coming in the hat for a game or for a head coaching position. So let's look at MTSU, which of course they've actually hired their coach recently. So MTSU coaching candidates, 5 possibilities for Middle Tennessee's football coaching search. Let's look and see whose name is in there. And this is, look at Colton. Listen, you guys need to see this person over here in the corner. His name is Colton Poole. I don't know if you're able to see him. Maybe I need to make it a little bit larger. Y'all folks need to get in Colton's DMs or whatever and tell him to stop spreading misinformation. This is Colton Poole. Here, let me look up his name. Colton Poole is a writer for Hero Sports and BetMGM, living in Bozeman, Montana. Bozeman, Montana. So why would he even, where did he get that information from? He worked in the state of North Dakota. Where did he get Willie name from? Y'all need to get in Colton Poole's comments and tell him to stop. Keep your coach's name out his mouth. And then had a nerve to take the SWAC championship picture. Look at him. Took the SWAC championship picture. I didn't do that. Colton Poole did that. So you need to get with Colton Poole and tell him stop spreading misinformation. Now, MTSU actually did hire a coach. See, some of y'all, unlike the SWAC, when someone fires a coach, or if a coach moves on, they have a new coach named within a week. They have a new coach named within a week. They don't waste time. You ain't out here in the middle of recruitment at one of the biggest times to catch all the fish that done landed in the transfer portal pond. And I just wanted to let you guys know, because there's a picture that's circulating with me with FAMU gear on at the SWAC championship. I want to let y'all know I was at the SWAC championship. All right. It was me. I was there. But I was there as a SWAC APR enforcement. I was not there as a rattler. I don't know why they are over here spreading that type of misinformation. As you can see, I had Ashton there as my security, Secret Service. And, you see me holding on to the trophy. I'm making sure that it was in good condition just in case it has to be repoed. So if anybody says that I was there, let them know. That's why I was there. And I didn't have to buy a $3 ticket. I had my credentials. So let's just get that straight and out the way right now. That I was not at the SWAC championship in FAMU gear. I was there attending, since they want to put my face on there. I was there as SWAC APR. Yeah, I'm the APR officer. Head APR officer of the SWAC, okay? And we're just monitoring things, okay? We're monitoring things. There's no type of action has been taken right now. The APR guidelines, rules, and restrictions has been suspended, due to COVID and due to that transfer portal. So, nothing. I was just there as an enforcer. Okay. I just wanted to let you guys know that, because I don't know why they have it looking like I was just there partying it up with some rattlers. That's not the case. Okay. After 18 seasons, MTSU was 4-8 overall with a 3-5 mark in Conference USA. They fired him. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead. Tennessee running back coach Jerry Mack. See, now that's who they need to be looking at to come to the SWAC, not an Ed Reed. Tennessee running back coach Jerry Mack, who's had experience as a head coach and a coordinator. That's who you need to be looking at. Okay, so let's look at this one right here. Florida A&M head coach Willie Simmons. Mind you, I didn't say his name, They said his name. Mr. Poole did. Simmons has the kind of head coaching experience MTSU might be looking for. In 6 years at Florida A&M, Simmons has gone 43-13. That is an impressive, very impressive winning seasons versus losses. Now, I am going to say, when you play teams like Lincoln, they'll definitely add some wins to the column. But nonetheless, 43-13 is good. With the 2020 season being canceled due to COVID-19, the Rattlers are scheduled to play in the Swac Championship this weekend, which means this particular article has been out. It's been out. I didn't put it out. They did. And then says Prairie View, where he was the head coach from 2015 to 2017. So he's playing his the old school that he used to be the head coach of. He has a winning record there as well, 21-11. And none other than who hired him? AD Ashley Robinson. Before that, he was an offensive coordinator and running backs coach at Alcorn State. So I got
never take a break.
Yeah, I have probably 20 more minutes. As offensive coordinator and running backs coach at Alcorn. So if anybody had a question, Willie is Swac. Now, FAMU, I think they're still under probation or they're still online. I think they got 2 more years left before they can claim Swac. But Coach Willie Simmons is Swac, okay? He's been at Alcorn. He's been at Prairie View. I didn't know this, but he was an offensive coordinator and running backs coach at Middle Tennessee. He was a graduate assistant at Clemson. All I'm doing is talking the facts now. Now, he put this together. So it says Simmons would be ready for a head coaching job at MTSU. So there we go. There we have it. So what are the reasons why Coach Willie Simmons should not leave FAMU? Well, for one, the Tulane job, which is actually still open, the head coach said that it's not a good place for athletics. They don't invest in their programs. You should be looking for special teams coach because they absolutely suck. So, Jordan, don't worry. After finals is over, I'm going to be 10 toes down. But while everybody's here, these Rattlers, let me play this movie for them. Oh, Lord. You guys can't just be Swac. Swac doesn't work like that. You have to be you can't just come into Swac. You can't do that. You can't be like North Carolina A&T where you hopping from one conference to the next. And now they talking about breaking up the CAA. Now they're going to have to hop into, okay, at this point, if CAA disbands or a lot of their teams leave, Hampton and North Carolina A&T has to come back to HBCUs. You can't just keep hopping. Do you guys get your money back when you pay that entrance fee to get in? Do you guys get the money back? Miracle Sports says Dooley would be a great hire at FAMU. I agree. All right. So, enough about Coach Willie. Let's talk about Grambling, because Grambling, I don't agree with their move, and it's just kind of like, huh? What is going on? Lord, what is going on? What is going on? Uh-oh, Eddie George just fired his offensive coach, coordinator, and online coach. Kudos to Eddie George for making that pull. See, this is the thing about TSU. TSU gives their coach a chance to make adjustments. In the world of HBCUs, be like South Carolina State, where your coach is going to have some up years, he's going to have some down years, but he's going to have enough years. All right, let me take that one down. The banner that says, "Is Coach Willie Simmons headed allegedly?" Let me do another one. Everybody in the chat, I need you guys to type allegedly. Allegedly. I mean, I hope that now if anything that I would ever want to be so untrue, it's that Ed Reed is being crystal balled to to Grambling. Especially just, I mean, he's gonna be like, it's woods, all woods, nothing but trees and woods and mosquitoes. Wait, let me change that to possible hire. Lord, please let me edit that. Let me edit that before somebody screenshot it. Is Ed Reed allegedly going to be hired at Grambling? Here, let me fix that for y'all. Y'all are, I mean, for me, I don't think it makes sense. Uh-oh. There's no allegedly about Ed Reed. That's a fact. He's a top candidate. Whoever their AD is, he needs to be the AD that they've been talking about. You're gonna have to. Lord, I don't even want to talk about the dumpster fire of Ed Reed being hired at Grambling so that he can complain about the woods and the trees. Oh my goodness. That would be terrible. And I think I need to remind people of why it'll be terrible. Because when a person shows you who they are the first time, believe them. Believe who they are. Like, don't. Uh-oh. Hang on just a second. And that's fine. His father could have went to Graham, but come on now. It's not a good choice. And it's because he's not level-headed enough to take that type of position. What do you think? Lord. Just going to give it to him based off of a name. Because at this point, he has no head coaching experience. I'm trying to figure out, are these the same people? Let me see if I can find that video of Mr. Ed Reed going off at Grambling. And you tell me, is this the type of person that you want at your helm? Can you imagine what those SWAT calls are going to be like? The media day calls, like after he loses, like if he loses a game, and then someone asks him, well, Coach Reed, can you talk a little bit about your offense and how they're going to restructure? How they're going to get better next week? Can you imagine what he's going to say? He's going to be cussing and stuff all on the live. All right, here it is right here. Not that we needed a reminder, but it's like anybody who's anybody forgot how he was cutting up. How did you forget?
been mutton and showing shit. I chose not to, but now
you know who I am.
I'm out here walking with the football team, picking up trash. But I'm mutting us. Man, get out of here, man.
Give me the bed. It's 9 o'clock. Give me the bed.
I should leave. I'm not even under contract doing
Quiet. Yeah.
this. I'm mutting us. Man, get out of here, man. They mutt me. These motherfuckers ain't even clean my goddamn office when I get
I hope they got that office clean.
out here. I'm mutting y'all. Get your ass, man.
Lord. You better have his office clean. His office better be clean. His office better be clean. You might have to go to Ashley Furniture and get some new, redecorate the office. You might have to redecorate the office. You can't be half-stepping. You can't give him Hugh's old desk. He's going to complain about it. That ain't the old him. That's just him. That's not the old him.
Hey, come on, man. Come on, man. All this.
Oh, Lord. And you know what? You're going to have to excuse the language.
This shit here was trash in front of me.
Now, mind you, Bethune-Cookman had just went through a very big hurricane, like the biggest hurricane that they've ever experienced. A lot of their buildings were obliterated, and he's worried about a football field. It is who he is. This isn't something to change. This is just who he is. And then he had all those kids over there protesting.
Been mutton and showing shit. I chose not to, but now
and people are like, well, he's right. They should have had his office cleaned out when he didn't have a contract. Well, he's right. HBCUs need to Well, if he feels that way, he's not going to be the one to bring it. And I don't. If I feel like one of these troll accounts is I don't even know how to say his name. Mayorn, I'm blocking you. So tread lightly in these comments. If you're Mayorn, you might as well not even comment, because I'm gonna block you as soon as I think that it's you. Now, you go. Okay, so, oh Lord. The SWAT calls would be a disaster. And he's not sorry. He apologized, and then he was talking more stuff.
I'm out here walking with the football team, picking up trash.
Just FYI, HBCUs a lot of times do community service, and a lot of the various student organizations or athletic teams, as part of their community service, they might, go pick up trash. And you know what? That's not exclusive to HBCUs. It's not exclusive to student organizations going and servicing the community. And, picking up trash is not something that would be out of the norm. But what is out of the norm is probably the amount of trash that was out there. And that's because of the hurricane, of course.
But I'm mutting us. Man, get out of here, man.
I don't know why it won't play the whole thing. Maybe because it doesn't want me talking.
I should leave.
Like that.
I'm not even under contract.
So now he already talking about how he should leave. What you think he gonna do when he get to them woods? And then people are saying that what he was doing on Ryan Clark's show, when you're in a controlled environment around other football players who treat you with kid gloves, because that's what Ryan Clark does. He treats the people that he brings on there with kid gloves. He doesn't ask those hard questions. People aren't going to treat him like that in the SWAC. They're going to ask him, why did you lose today, Coach Reed? You don't want that type of coach cussing you out because you didn't run the right play or because your pass was intercepted. Like, he's gonna act a fool, and y'all are just keep on saying, oh yeah, he's perfect for the job. No, he's not. Well, those coaches calls, I mean, I don't even see how you thought Deion Sanders was bad. Every week he was saying something off the wall. You thought he was bad. Like, it's just going to be a debacle. I don't agree with it. I feel like, how do you go from a Hugh Jackson to a Ed Reed, and you're basing the fact that he's going to be able to turn the program around based off of him being able to recruit? Because a lot of his recruits still stayed at Bethune, and Bethune it still has an upward hill battle. The main quarterback that he recruited, he didn't leave Bethune; he was still there. And if he's so great, why hasn't Deion Sanders offered him a position so that he can elevate? If he's that good. You can't be a person that says, I'm trying to give my friend an opportunity to enter into coaching, and then you actually have the ability and you have the opening positions and they're well paid, well above what he would be getting paid. He'll probably be making the same amount at Grambling as he would as just an analyst at Colorado, but you don't offer him that because you know that that's not going to be acceptable at Colorado. So if it's not acceptable at Colorado, why would you think it's acceptable? And he just be lying. I'm not going to play all of it. I'm not even going to play any of it, actually. But I'm going to just put it up on the screen when he was talking to Pivot. And some of the problems that I have with this narrative. Like, of course, you're going to be talking calmly to fellow football players, and you're trying to get this job, and you're trying to look like a level-headed person. Come on. And we're saying that he admitted it on the Ryan Clark show, but he has shown several times he had a chance to apologize, and then he went off again. I know for a fact that's man. Block him or put him in timeout. I know for a fact that's him. It has to be. He's going too hard. You are Mayan. Put user in timeout. I know for a fact that's him. I ain't going with that. I don't want to hear that mess. I don't want to hear May Arn talk about how Aerie has these billions of dollars, and I want to see these billions of dollars. I don't want to hear it. I don't. People show you who they are the first time, believe them. I blocked him. I know for a fact that was him, and I blocked him because you're not fooling nobody. You sound just like Mayorn. And you know what? Mayorn actually acts like Ed Reed because he'll be calm for the first 2 to 3 minutes of talking, and then when you say something he don't like, he acts just like Ed Reed. He be going off. How you doing, Brother Bakari?
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
I ain't gonna be on here long. I just got a couple things up. Uh, okay, I'm gonna say something real quick about people talking about Willie going to FBS, right?
Mm-hmm.
When are we gonna learn these people tricks? I put in the chat. I don't know if you've seen it. I want somebody to answer this. Name a black coach that got a top job in an FBS. Name a black coach that got a mid-level job. All of them get the worst schools. And you can start with Turner Gill, who ended up at Kansas. Sylvester Croom, who was at Mississippi State, and they were so far on probation, you thought they weren't going to see the light of day for 15 years. You got the dude, Derek Mason, who just went to Middle Tennessee State, who's the bottom of that conference, but he was also at Vanderbilt, who's at the bottom of that conference. You can just go the coaching at Virginia. Go look at Virginia before they hired him, and go look at they were at the bottom. The coach at Maryland. Maryland is at the bottom just about every year. They got a black coach now. I think they done had two. Just go look and see what they did. Then if you could go with James Franklin, the biracial at Penn State. He was initially at Vanderbilt, the bottom school. Look at the coach at Colorado State, biracial. He's at the bottom school in their conference. They like to hire black people to clean up their trash, but black people rush to go clean up their trash because we think if I can get $2 million for 2 years, that's better than making $300,000-400,000 for 5 years at an HBCU. They still have us in a position. Let's take white people worse and make it good and prove to them how good we really are instead of staying and fixing your own. But, so if they go accept those jobs, shit, I really don't, I'm being honest, I really don't support it. That's me. But they're grown. They can do what they want to do, just like I'm grown.
I just want to change the narrative that it's an elevation. That's the only thing I want to change. Like, don't.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm showing why it's not an elevation.
You elevated because you didn't. That's not an elevation because you go to a middle level. I would venture to say just based off of Tulane, that's in New Orleans, right? Well,
yep.
I would say that it's kind of like a lateral move when you go to some of those lower level FBS. Because you're actually in competition a lot of times with those types of recruits. Like they might be far few in between, but you're able to take some of those types of players that are being offered at Tulane. You can get those at a Florida A&M, a Jackson State. But also you have to look at the resources that they're giving you or not giving you. Then you have to also worry about pleasing the alumni. Are they going to donate? Do they invest in NIL?
But see, the thing is, like, the alumni and NIL, right? We just understand I don't care if Power 5 can offer you $3 million, $5 million a year. The point look at the school that they get. The more money is not elevation. Deion, and I hate Deion, went out to nowhere where don't nobody want to go. No players want to go there. And that's just a fact. He's going to continue to struggle out there. He got the worst school possibly in the nation.
I remember when I said, well, of course, whenever I say something, I'm hating, which I'm not hating. I'm just like, if anybody sees me and I'm heckling because I'm returning energy. That's what I'm about. I'm about returning energy. So when all those Jackson State players went to the transfer portal, we're getting some new luggage, and it's Louis. We're getting this Louis luggage. He's bringing all these players from Jackson State. Blah blah blah. Everybody was laughing, right? And it was funny. Ha ha! You guys are losing all your players, so it was funny, right? So now they leaving. So it's not funny. It was funny when they were leaving Jackson State, but now that they're leaving Colorado, it's not funny no more. We can't laugh. Why we can't laugh? That's not hating. If I'm returning energy, meaning you was laughing about the Louis luggage, you was laughing about those 60 students in the transfer portal, and then now it's a stampede in the wrong direction for Colorado. Why can't I laugh? It was funny when it was us, but now all of a sudden it's hating when it's y'all. That it doesn't work like that. I'm just returning the energy.
Because they worship celebrities. Now, let me say this right quick about Ed Reed. I just somebody talking about resources he can bring. Black people need to get off these celebrities' job. I'm just being honest. If these people gave a damn about an HBCU or black people, period, they would not be trying to hold a university hostage. I can help you with resources if you make me the head coach. Who said he know how to coach? See, I'm gonna tell you one of the mistakes, and I'm gonna be honest. Jackson State made hiring Deion, hindsight, everybody sees a mistake. Then these people come in with all this arrogance. They bigger than the school, they bigger than everything, and people give them all this power. HBCUs need somebody who want to coach. They need a coach that want to coach. If he played in the NFL, okay, good. But somebody who did what Ed Reed did, who publicly wanted to embarrass, then he say all HBCUs look just like this. Then, well, we was bringing resources and Shaq was about to donate and such, but we love celebrities so much that he can get away with that. But if they gave a damn about an HBCU, gave a damn about black people, gave a damn about black people, why haven't they donated? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say, have you ever seen the J.R. Reed "I Am Athlete" interview? You should watch that. It's 1 year. J.R. Smith. I said J.R. Reed. J.R. Smith played in the NBA, and I want you to hear what he say. He used to tell the players that was in the NBA, in the celebrities, and he go to NCAA and T now after he retired. That's what he say he been telling them how they should give to HB. These people want to come in controlling HBCU, but while they playing and making their big money, they donating their money to them white schools where they played at. Now they want to hold you hostage. Well, we have resources. I can help you with this, and I can. So why didn't you help me before? If you cared, why didn't you help me before? Won't you come in and take a position coaching job so you can learn how to coach?
Right. He ain't even coached high school. He ain't even coached Little League.
Exactly. Because what happened, the last two Celebration Bowls, with the Jackson State last two Celebration Bowls, and this year out in Serbia, Colorado, everybody saw there's somebody standing on the sideline who's only a celebrity who has no idea what he's doing. And I'm just saying, they don't know how to coach because they're a celebrity. They want to be able to come and push black people around, and the stuff they say about black people, and the stuff they say about
have a degree. I think Ed Reed does. Ed Reed have a degree? I think he does.
Yeah, Ed Reed graduated from the University of Miami.
He got his degree, y'all. He don't have to come. He don't got to go to Talladega, y'all. He's not gonna get a bachelor's degree.
He didn't leave early. He was when he got drafted in the NFL. He was a senior already.
I can probably pull up maybe I'll say at least 10 to 15 coaches that's been in high school and coaching at the collegiate level that they may not have the prestige name, just as in name as they've been at the NFL. But this is the thing that you need to realize. At the FBS level, for black colleges, we get all hung up on a black celebrity football player's name. But in the FBS, they have these names of these coaches that unless you're versed in FBS, you won't even know who these people are. So like a Sean Lewis, who was the offensive coordinator, these people, they don't have to wait for somebody to necessarily say their name. They can just call somebody up and go ahead and they'll make a position for them on whatever coaching staff they want to. Tim Brewster was able to just go to Charlotte and automatically be put on the staff. They have their way out. So they can just make phone calls and go to somebody else's staff. So that narrative that you're trying to elevate black coaches so that they can get more head coaching positions, that's not going to work. I would venture to say that these black coaches like Deion and Ed Reed actually do the opposite for Black head coaches who really are serious about their craft and not trying to just, make a push to go to FBS. Well, Dr. D, if I'm wrong about this narrative, then come over here and tell me why I'm wrong. I know Ed Reed. He's a legit coach. What coaching experience does Ed Reed have?
Ed Reed, his
please don't
experience,
tell
he
me
was a
that he was
special.
on the staff as they made him up made a position. You talking about
he
at
was a
Miami?
special assistant or something like that for the University of Miami.
It was a made up position, basically. Like I
He
just
didn't coach.
find.
And when you
position.
look up his position, it wasn't even considered a coach. When you look up his position at Miami,
right? He wasn't playing. He wasn't calling no plays. He wasn't writing up nothing. He was not telling them kids what to do. Please. And then, just like you said, Brother Bakari, it's a big mistake giving one person the power that they gave Deion Sanders. And then this is the thing. Folks like Ed Reed will think that they're just supposed to get that same open book. Now, I'll say this, given under the right perspective, I didn't mind it. So, like, for instance, if you give that same type of power to a Hugh Grambling, not a Hugh Jackson, you know that he's not going to exploit it. You think you finna tell Ed Reed he can't hire Art Briles? Or do you think if Ed Reed told Grambling that he was hiring Art Briles,
Here's the thing about that, Timon. Here's the thing about that. When Hugh Jackson hired Art Briles, it was already given the okay by the AD. And then the AD got so much pushback because you got old school people like Doug Williams and Shaq Harris that have too much like almost authority over the football program, that he backtracked it and said, okay, well, we're not hiring Art Briles. To me, my whole thing is, if you're gonna stand on something that you do, stand on it. And also with that, if this, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, if they do hire this man, if that's a big if they do hire this man, and if he signed his name on the dotted line, he don't do right. If he don't do right by these kids, about the school, not only is Ed Reed going to be out of the job, but the athletic director, Travion Scott, is going to be out of the job too. I don't like telling people y'all know me. I don't like firing folks. That I leave that up to Mr. Ford. But the main person that's culpable in this whole thing is Travion Scott, the athletic director for Grambling. Because we talked about this last night.
Mm-hmm.
Hugh Jackson had the backing from the president, Dr. Gallup.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Travion Scott really wasn't on board with hiring Hugh Jackson, but you made the hire anyway. So you had to, you know what I'm saying? You had to come in and you had to get the say so from the press to get the man hired. Now the president is getting ready to leave because he took another position within the state, and you go ahead and you dismiss Hugh Jackson and half of your coaching staff. And so if I'm like on the real, if I'm Ed Reed, I'm probably keeping one or two people on the staff that actually know the program. Everybody else get a pink slip.
Boy, if they do hire Ed Reed, woo! And Grambling lose the Bethune. Grambling lose to Bethune. It's gonna be hell on wheels. We don't even, they don't even, Bethune for the most part, they don't really too much dibble and dabble in a lot of back and forth. It's gonna be hell on wheels if they.
Yeah. And it would be fun, and I would prove Bethune.
Let me go ahead and get my let's go. Wildcat. I'm gonna be a Wildcat that day.
I would too. That's what I'm saying. I would pull for him. This guy in the chat, I can't say his name, but somebody in Chalkin, PhD. He steady talking about how much money Ed Reed could raise for Grambling. If Ed Reed gave a damn about Grambling, why ain't he raising it now? We are
right.
Okay
he needs to come in with the resources.
We are okay with letting people hold you hostage. I got this money. So now it's okay for us to, it's okay now because a black person allegedly have resources. So now they can treat you like white people have treated you. If you don't do this, I ain't gonna give you this trinkets. If you don't do this for me, I ain't gonna help you. Man, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't do weakness at all. I don't do weakness. I don't deal with weakness at all. So no, I don't care what kind of resource. If you wanted to help, you could have been helped. If he wanted to help, he could have been helped. He was over there
trying to do stuff without permits, possibly hitting a power line.
But even with those resources that he have, with the money he can raise, if you want to raise money for HBCUs, matter of fact, for all these people who thinking a celebrity want to help raise money for an HBCU, watch the J.R. Smith interview, get his organization, and send it to y'all beloved celebrity and ask them why haven't they donated to the organization that J.R. Smith created, raising money for a whole HBCU pot. Ask them why they haven't joined the J.R. Smith saying he needs celebrities and he needs the athletes and people with money to 2 or 3 of them to find an HBCU that they're going to donate money to and help out with every year. That's all they got to do. But instead, when you got people who will accept, yeah, he can bring resources, so you should make him head coach. That's foolishness. That's absolutely asinine. He can bring resources, man. So give your resources now. I'm sorry.
Can I say something?
I'm sorry.
Okay, Dr. D is getting ready to speak in rebuttal, of course. I love.
So let me say this.
I'm gonna be while Dr. D is talking, you will see some pictures flashing across the screen. This is the Bethune-Cookman Athletics. So basically, I'm just giving you basically the progression of course, the athletics, the football athletics, and what has been set up. Meanwhile, this is after post Ed Reed. This is what they've been doing without all these billionaires' help. Go ahead, Dr. D.
Okay,
thank you for coming on.
So let me just start from this. I'm gonna start 50,000 feet level, and then I'm gonna work down. The problem with most of these HBCU schools is that they're operating like a church and not a business. Many of your southern schools are run and operated with partnership with the church. They keep running it like a church instead of a business. 2, when you look at Ed Reed has resources and contacts that he brings to the table, but he's not necessarily bringing in $1 million check when he gets hired on the first day. What happens is he's being leveraged, for example, by the media money that goes to the school. So Urban Edge Network actually wrote a check to Grambling on various activities that they needed: equipment, resources, planes, total about $3 million last year. And
and that was by Coach Hugh Jackson, right? That was something that he did.
Yeah. So what? I mean, Hardy, if you listen to this, hopefully this is how it all went down.
Hardy Pelt. I'm sorry, excuse me, Dr. D.
Hardy Pelt from Urban Edge. Okay. I know him, and we talk about this. So I just want to make sure that people understand what goes on. Dr. Gallows, I know him too. very good president. He's a business-minded president. He's probably one of the best presidents out of all the HBCUs. I'll probably put him in the top 3, and knowing how to run a school. So when they were thinking about how can they bring in a coach to like help elevate the program with Hugh, they looked at the money side, like, hey, we need some of these resources. So Hugh actually was in contact with Urban Edge, right? And they was like, hey, we can make this work. Dr. Gallows wasn't on board. But when Hugh talked to Gallows and said, hey, this is what we're going to be able to do, he was like, do it. That's how it got done. And next thing you know it, all these things was being done for the institution that did not come out of the operating budget. It came from a private resource to get this done. That's because you had a celebrity coach to make it work, because the marketing dollars that goes into these institutions is hundreds of millions of dollars. We're not talking about $20,000. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. That's what is at stake here that I'm trying to get people to understand. These institutions need millions of dollars. You go to Target and say, oh, Target gave the school $20,000. So what? That's nothing. Get that to the endowment. This is why you need a celebrity coach that's good, that can win. Now, dealing with Ed Reed, he wears his emotion. He cares about the young men that will be on his team. Those young men will go through a wall on his behalf. But from the marketing side, we're talking about major marketing dollars. And then I'm gonna just end it with this. Last year, with Hugh Jackson, how many schools were riding on buses with their kids on football team on the buses going to these games? Grambling had a losing record and they was flying everywhere because of the marketing dollars. I just heard that the Prairie View A&M band took a 14-hour, 15-hour bus ride for the Swac championship. That's crazy. Where's the marketing dollars for the Swac championship? You can't even, why do we have a band on a road for 14, 15 hours to go to a Swac championship? Doesn't make sense. All of that stuff should have been covered by sponsors.
So basically what you're saying is that Hugh Jackson, mind you, he went 3-8 and he went 5-6. So he was able to get them to fly everywhere, and y'all still
and resources.
And the powers that be decided to fire him.
Well, let me tell you why he got fired.
He does not know. And when I say he does not know, I can probably say with confidence, Ed Reed knows absolutely nothing about talking to somebody and saying, hey, I want you to, American Airlines, I want you to sponsor my team.
It wouldn't be Ed Reed American Airlines.
Can I ask him a question? Come on, can I ask you a question, Dr. D?
Can you? I'm gonna answer your question. Let me just say one more thing. So you all talked about our FBS program doesn't hire celebrity coaches. That's because the FBS program got all the damn resources. They got all the facilities. So you don't need to have a celebrity coach. But when you don't have the resources, you got to get a high profile coach so you can bring in the marketing and the other dollars into the school to help build your field house, your food, your nutrition, things like that. So I just want to put that out there.
Well, I don't know who said that. I ain't say that. I say they don't have black coaches in no top schools, but they will hire a celebrity coach if they're $150 to $200 million in debt. You don't believe me? Look at Colorado, and all people got to do is look that up, and you'll see how much money they had lost about a year and a half before they hired Deion, and see how quick they made it up. Plus, but anyway, so if these people got all these resources, Dr. D, and you say he'll care about the kids and he'll do all that, so the only way he can care, a black person can care about black kids, if I can hold this over your head and you make me head coach. So if he actually care, why don't he do it anyway?
He's already doing stuff in the community. A lot of these guys, for example, a lot of these guys are giving monies, but they don't say what they're doing. Like Ed Reed has done a lot in the community for programs.
Okay, but we were talking about.
I'm just saying, like
you say what he can do. You say what he can do for the HBCU. See, we said what he can do.
Doing that for Bethune-Cookman. Before he got his contract, he was on there starting to bring the resources in to get things done, to get the field put in.
Because he thought he was getting.
We're talking about before he was even tied to HBCU.
He thought he was getting the job. Just being out here, a regular person who has made money and got all of these connections. Why ain't he doing it for the black children anyway at those schools?
Why isn't he not?
Why does he have HBCU? Why does he have to hold? Why does he have to hold his connections over a black person's head? If you don't hire me, you won't get this. But if you hire me, is the point that's what I was asking.
So basically, what you're asking, that's called quid pro quo. You do something for me, I do something for you, right?
So you ain't gonna answer the question.
I'm trying to answer your question. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
I said if they care. If they actually care, why aren't they doing it anyway? It's the question that was asked. If they actually care.
Just because he didn't do it for Bethune-Cookman prior to him getting the job doesn't mean that he hadn't done for other programs in other schools. A lot of these guys
What HBCU program has he done?
Which school do he do it for?
I don't know.
Which school?
I don't know which schools.
You're a doctor, but you know celebrity
because I can't tell you because sometimes when they make, like, for example, my family makes donations to schools and you got to keep it quiet. So you would never know. Like I've made donations to schools, but don't say anything. But I'm telling you, the type of person he is, he has done things for black people.
Do you know him?
I know
him.
I don't know him personally. I don't have a phone number, but I have friends that actually know him very well.
Because you sound like, I'm gonna say it like this, you sound like you really love celebrities. And the only question that I asked was, why, if he actually cared, the only question that I asked was, and you didn't answer, if he actually cared about the black children in a black school in an HBCU, so I'm gonna say it another way, why don't he reach out to another celebrity who probably made more money than him playing his professional sport? Why don't he reach out to J.R. Smith and say, you know what, I'm going to join your mission. And these are the two schools that me and my these are the two HBCUs or three HBCUs that me and my celebrity friends are going to adopt and take care of. And this are we going to get resources for without having to be a coach. It's the point that I'm making. Like, if they cared, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so
if he actually cared,
you want it. This is a prerequisite. It seems like you're saying, before you become a head coach and you're a celebrity at an HBCU, you need to tell us your resume of all the programs you've given money to. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you don't need to tell me, but what I'm saying is,
you just said it.
Yeah, I said what he needs to do, but it seems like he ain't done nothing because he's holding that over. He want to hold his resources hostage. These people want to hold their resources hostage.
He's not
for a head coaching position. Yes, he is. Because wait a minute. I'm gonna show you what I mean by say holding them hostage. You just said he could get Grambling 10 million if Hugh Jackson got him 3 million, right? So if he's not holding them hostage, he would just get the 10 million.
Hold on. You didn't understand what I wrote. No, you didn't understand.
I'm repeating what you just said, my brother. Let me understand what I'm saying.
You read
oh my goodness.
You read it, but you didn't understand what I wrote.
No, I'm repeating what you just said.
I know, but you didn't understand it. And what I'm going to repeat it again. Let me repeat it again. I'm talking about marketing dollars.
I know. If you let me finish, I was going to get to all that.
I know, but Urban Edge is the gateway to the marketing dollars. When you're looking at how you market an individual, Hugh Jackson got you 3, but with the Ed Reed, it will allow you to have more marketing dollars to get. That's why it's at 10. You understand?
I know.
I'm not saying that Ed Reed. This is not Ed Reed's money. This is the marketing.
I know it's not. I know it's not his money. I know it's not his money. So that's what I was trying to say.
Don't say it's his money and he's holding hostage to the
I didn't.
school. That's not it. This is a quid pro quo.
So basically, this is what's going to happen.
Okay, let me finish.
So wait.
Dr. D,
okay, I'm going to let you.
But let me say this right quick, Steve. Then I'm done. Then I'm done talking about it.
Okay.
You said they need marketing. This is what I suggest every HBCU to do then. The two best marketers in sports are black. Go have Leonard Ellerby and Al Heyman if they want to make it a business, and we gonna market ourselves and just look and see how they market and promote.
See, that's the problem.
Go have them.
A school.
I said,
yeah.
I just said to. Oh my dude, I understand, but you don't ever let me finish. But okay, but I was saying who they could hire for marketing and promoting to put it out there and make it bigger. I just named the people they should hire then, because they gonna be bigger than. Do it better than Ed Reed. That's all.
So let me ask you a question. What are you marketing? You just say hire these two people. What are you selling?
The prestigious, historic Grambling State University. No one is bigger than the brand, and that's the problem. And then Ed Reed, obviously, he's not that big of a brand. He does not have the brand deals that Deion has.
So let me ask you a question.
He doesn't have the P&G.
Your brand does not have the luster that it used to, right? Because if your brand had the luster, then Grambling will be everywhere and have all these resources, correct? Like Eddie Robinson, I met Eddie Robinson back in the 80s. Eddie Robinson was the
fact
brand.
That you guys are saying that the brand is not there. That's the problem. Is that
the brand? No, I didn't say the brand wasn't there. I said the luster of the brand.
Right. So that's a devalue of Grambling's brand.
It's not there. So what you need is how do you kickstart the brand to get it back out in front again. But anyway, I gotta go. I gotta finish the proposals.
He said I gotta speak on behalf of Ed Reed. Well, Dr. D, when Ed Reed act the damn fool, you're gonna have to come right back on here.
Then hold him accountable. I'm not. Look, I don't mind firing.
You ain't hold him accountable for what he just did to Bethune.
No. See, Bethune-Cookman, man, I'm close to that school. Okay, my uncle was the national alumni president, and I have a whole bunch of family members that graduated from school. That school is run like a church, right? And people lied to him and said they was going to do something, and then they didn't. Okay, so that's just why you had this. So let's keep it real. This is a school that's charging kids $26,000 a year for a private school, as a private institution with 2,600 kids and everything falling apart. Come on, that's ridiculous.
Falling apart after what?
Falling apart.
After the what though? Context to it. After you're talking about after that.
Storms come through there all the time. That ain't the first hurricane.
It was a direct hit. Let's be fair.
What I'm saying to you, the storms have gone through Daytona a lot. Okay, I'm from Miami. Okay, hurricanes come in and out all the time.
Do all the schools, not just Bethune-Cookman, do all the schools in Florida have mold issues due to the weather?
Yes.
Are they more prone to have?
But when you have deferred maintenance plans.
Well, as he did do with her doctor, but he had a problem for black folks. I know that.
Huh? What's that? Bro, look, I'm trying to be nice. I don't know you. I'm just trying to have an intelligent conversation. But anyway, it's time for me to go. I know, but one thing I'm not going to tolerate. You're not going to attack me as a person. I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation with you. Okay. So
I didn't attack anything. What I said is I didn't attack. You took that as an attack. I didn't attack.
I'm cool with it.
Now you see how you defend. Why did you see how you defending yourself, but you didn't want the people at Bethune-Cookman to defend themselves against Ed Reed, and you constantly making excuses for him. And that's why I said what I said. You love celebrities. Every time she said how Ed Reed, and you can ignore the fact that the hurricane hit the school, a direct hit, and you continue to make excuses for a celebrity.
So
we got to get rid of that celebrity worship, bro. We got to get rid of that celebrity worship.
We got to let that before Ed Reed got there. The school was having problems before the hurricane hit.
Right, but the broken, chipped buildings, which the mold, the lack of funding from Florida, the lack of
when you're a private school.
No, sir. Now,
When
you
you're a
know,
private, bro, no.
sir, you know that FEMA, as well as the government, is supposed to help, regardless of if it's a private school. We're talking about the buildings and them being broken. And Dr. D, you know, let's not play Florida semantics. You know that the government is supposed to issue help, which includes they provide workers to help clean up some of those spaces.
You have to request
And that's
that.
not, and that has
You
nothing
have to
to do.
request that. You have to request that.
And they did request it because back when I did my show, I showed how they requested it, and they said that they were waiting on the state. So once again, let's not act like Bethune-Cookman, as well as FAMU, as well as Edward Memorial, like all of these HBCUs are not disproportionately affected by who's the governor, by the legislation. So to say that Bethune-Cookman didn't request help from the state is disingenuous. To say that the school looks like trash, there's cracked buildings all over the place when there was just a hurricane that had a direct hit, once again, disingenuous. For people to think that Ed Reed is allowed to just get a bulldozer and start digging with no permits and possibly hitting a gas pipeline or an electric line or whatever, that the school should not have immediately terminated and escorted him off the property is disingenuous. Excuse my language. Excuse my language. For anybody to make an excuse, Dr. D, working in corporate America, that you could ever say these motherfuckers in relation to your employees, and I'm quoting, these motherfuckers, and this was straight from Ed Reed, to think that you can talk about an administration like that in that capacity. Everybody on this chat knows that sometimes.
Well, I mean, hell, you'll get fired from that. Yes, you'll get fired from that, and probably because this was his first situation trying to work at a black school and not knowing what to say.
He wouldn't do it at a white school, so he knew better. He wouldn't do that at Miami. He knows better. And Miami, back when he was playing, trash. Their athletics, trash. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's not do that.
I just want to keep it clear. These buildings were falling apart way before the hurricane. That's all. So anyway, you all take care. And Timona, as always, keep up the good work.
Thank you so much for coming on, Dr. D.
All right. Bye.
And so check it out, Timona. So with what I was talking about, right? With Bethune being a problem, first he said, like, you have to promote. The sad thing is you have to promote and beg black people to deal with black stuff, which is absolutely asinine to me, absolutely crazy to me. But with Bethune-Cookman being a private school, and this is what I tell black people all the time when I'm defending HBCUs, if you have a problem with the public HBCUs, there's several private HBCUs that you can go and support. So all of these resources that Ed Reed was going to bring, if he cared about the school and all that, with Bethune being a private school, they should have just went in and they should have been doing it anyway. Mary McLeod Bethune put her life on the line and went through hell to do what she had to do for that school for black people, so black people could get an education.
They are literally turning our HBCUs and their storied programs, and they're making a mockery out of it. And so I guess this particular Ed Reed getting hired at Grambling, it has legs, and there's a possibility that that's who they're going to choose. And so Brandy asked this question: how can we support him in Grambling if they hire him? Because there's no use being mad about this. So for me, as far as supporting him, I'm going to say this respectfully. Respectfully, if Grambling chooses to hire Ed Reed, it's going to be kind of like the old school saying, a hard head will make a what? Y'all go ahead and type it in the chat. A hard head will make a what? I feel like, Brother Bakari, that some of these coaches that are being bought in have an agenda, and it's not for the betterment of HBCUs at all.
Exactly. Now I wish Mr. Ford was here because he remembered a guy named Ann at the school. But it was a ex-professional football player, a retired NFL player that wanted to coach. He wanted to be a coach, but he also said he wanted to learn to be a coach. I want to say Cromartie, but one thing played with the Jets, cornerback. Had a good NFL career, played about 14 seasons. But he took a defensive back coach. He's at an HBCU, but he took it at a Division II school. Savannah State, Albany State, one of them. I forget the name. Now I need Mr. Ford because Mr. Ford knew his name and everything.
Because I don't want to hear no complaining about the alumni and the attendance at Grambling. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear him rambling about how folks aren't coming to the games, and I don't want to hear about how he's in the woods with the mosquitoes. I don't want to hear that. It's kind of like, you know that someone's a ticking time bomb, but you go ahead and take a chance anyway. To try to, and who's to say that Grambling will be winning?
That's another thing. Who said he can recruit and who said he can
who
coach?
Said he gonna win?
And that's the thing. You know how many black coaches out here right now that's been waiting their time, who's been coaching at other schools and waiting their time to be a head coach? And because this guy can possibly, we believe he can bring resources, but not just him, any other person. They don't have have no coaching experience at all. And because he can possibly bring resources, let's just move him ahead. Let's move him ahead.
I really feel like this is being pushed by somebody outside of HBCU spaces. I really do. I really feel like it's being pushed by someone else outside.
That's what me and my homeboy said about
it don't
Hugh
make
Jack,
sense.
about Hugh.
It don't make sense. And then someone said that I did a 180. So I didn't do a 180. Coach Prime did a 180. Coach Prime is the one that said he donated half his salary and we was stealing and we're not forward thinking, but let me go ahead and give this job to Ed Reed. But okay, we're at a team meeting. Let me go ahead and announce that I think that TC should be the next head coach. That was something that Coach Prime did. Coach Prime is the one whose daughter came out and said murders happen every month on campus. And in Jackson, it happens on campus. That was so I didn't do a 180. I stayed true to the brand that I was always representing and defending, which was Jackson State University. If once you become an op to Jackson State University, you are op. I'm not going to say, oh, what he's saying is right. Like what? No, it was wrong. So Brother Bakari, what happened to Doc? He just fell off the chat. So what do you think? Because it looks like Ed Reed is probably going to be the next coach of Grambling.
Well,
How long do you think it will be before he has a mental breakdown?
2 years. It may not take that, but I think he's months. Yeah. I'm saying 2 years is mental breakdown and he's gone. But I can tell you this, I agree. I think it's outside sources that have nothing to do with HBCUs that pushing this. Me and my homeboy agree that we think it was an outside source that pushed Grambling to fire Hugh Jackson. But you know, when you got people and they willing to sell themselves, you know, everybody want to try to chase.
I don't even see him. I don't know. I just feel like it's so volatile to try to do that. And it's kind of like, are you putting these clauses in his contract? If you do X, Y, and Z, you're terminated. If you do this, you're terminated. Like, he has not gotten a head coaching position, a analyst position, a position anywhere in America. And you're basing, I don't want to say they're cheapening the brand until he actually has some type of mental breakdown or until he shows that side once again, exposing who he is. Once he does that, then my claim will be that Grambling sold out their historic program by hiring Ed Reed for click, almost like we're in a new era of social media where it's for clicks, likes, and engagement.
Yep, for clicks and
that
likes.
AD needs to be out the door.
For views, I don't
clicks, likes, and views on Twitter and Instagram, because that's what I see. And then for people to say, so Ed Reed was complaining about all these resources when at first it was he has all these resources, but when he was complaining at Bethune, he was talking about, they said they're going to get me a field. Well, if you have all these billionaires, why don't you have the money for the field? They said they were going to get me locker rooms. They said they were going to get this, this, and that. Well, if you have all these resources like you say you do, why aren't you getting it done? So I think that was and then for them to say, Hugh Jackson bought in all these funds, all these NILs. So basically, Grambling pulled a move that white colleges pull a lot of times, which is build a program up, because whether people want to say it or not, Hugh Jackson was building the program, and behind the scenes, he was making sure that deals were being done to make sure he was taking care of those kids. So you had him build it up, and he did the Urban Edge Network deal, got the $3 million. So then you fire him prematurely and hire Ed Reed.
Which is absolutely crazy. Dude in the chat just said, go ahead and hire Ed Reed so we can fire Ed Reed and get the celebrity coaches out your system. But see, which I thought was funny, but I don't think it's going to be hard to get them out. But I like what Tennessee State is doing with Eddie George. Eddie George came
Eddie George is a level-headed coach, though.
And Eddie George care. I remember his interview on Shannon Sharp. If you go back and watch that, Shannon Sharp tried to bait him into talking negative about HBCUs, and Eddie George wouldn't do it.
Never. As much as they disparaged and tore up on HBCU, Shannon Sharp making the notion that Prairie View and Bethune, they all have the same type of facilities, which was wrong. And I had to say something about it on Twitter, and then he corrected himself. But it's like, why would we even go through that?
That's why.
And there's Terrence Metcalf is the head football coach at Coahoma Community College. He's doing it the right way. He's a native of Clarksdale, Mississippi. Ole Miss Athletic Hall of Fame. His son is DK Metcalf. So I feel like someone like him, who's doing it the right way, he deserves an opportunity to be a head coach at a HBCU. If you're going to do stuff like this, where you're hiring someone that was in the NFL, hire someone with some coaching experience.
Yep.
Ed Reed not getting a 5-star to come to. Is Ed Reed getting a 5-star to come to Grambling?
No.
Hugh Jackson had a 4-star recruit signed out of high school signed to come to Grambling, and that still wasn't good enough.
Yeah. And the coach right here, black, Coahoma is a black community college, so he got black coaching experience. But I agree with you. Black coaches like that ain't gonna get their chance as long as you chasing. They won't get their chance as long as you're chasing a celebrity. As long as you're chasing a celebrity, and those celebrities don't care. Then they want the spotlight. But I can tell you this. As much as I don't like the guy that was at Jackson State before TC, with everything he tried to tear down, with all the negative press that they still try to do about Jackson State, you know what? Hiring him, I would say, was a mistake. But I say I was glad he was there for 2 years. Because even with all the tearing down he tried to do, he brought eyes on Jackson State that people may or not know. He tried to talk negative about him because he don't want people there. But with what he did, he can't stop people from looking at he can't stop people from wanting to go play at HBCUs now, regardless of how bad he wanted. No, it might be 50 more
I
years
don't
before
even
we
know
catch
if
up with.
necessarily. I feel like, okay, so for that, I feel like it was more so of he didn't want it to be, you can do this without me. That's what he didn't want. Because in his interview, he said, watch what happens when I leave. And what happened? We went 7-4. We still have leading attendance in the FCS. What happened? You went 4-8. We went 7-4. But I'm getting ready to end the chat with in coaching, you either elevate or you get elevated or you get terminated, right? Make sure that your elevation matches. Some of these folks are thinking that FBS means elevate, and it really doesn't. And that's for student athletes too. Just because someone says that come to a FBS, we have really nice facilities, that doesn't mean that you're going to elevate. There were some really talented players that went FBS and they didn't get the playing time that they thought. I think out of maybe the 60 players that left Jackson State, how many would you guess got significant playing time or was real successful at their next school? I think probably about 10. I'll say 10.
About 10.
Niles Gaddy was of course at Mizzou. They had a phenomenal season. Who else? The offensive lineman that decided to go to TCU instead of Colorado. Kevin Coleman. Louisville had a really good
Coleman
season.
at Louisville.
Kevin Coleman didn't get that much.
I watched him.
He got a couple. I think he got one touchdown when I looked at the website. But Louisville had a.
But he played though.
Yeah, he played.
Yeah, he played a lot, and he was
Willis
receiver
Patrick,
and
that's his
kick
name.
returner.
Willis Patrick.
The guy from TCU. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if the linebacker that went to Texas A&M. I don't know.
Juriante. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I don't.
I know that Trevante Rucker, they actually won their division. So I want to say they won.
He went to Tennessee Martin, right?
Yep, they won their division.
So he went from FCS to FCS. He did a lateral. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something else now that you said that, right? What people need to do they need to tell these children, they need to tell these young men the truth about these damn NILs and this money. They constantly want to brush under the rug when people come out and talking about they are not getting paid.
I don't know why they keep saying that. It's like rappers. They trying to set it up to be a 360 deal is what they're trying to do. But I think for real, when they keep saying that these quarterbacks are getting these millions of dollars, I want to see the quarterbacks' actual tax returns, because I don't think they're actually getting $1 million. They might be getting $1 million worth of let's say, for instance, if they got a house that's worth $350,000 to live in while they are there, but they don't actually own that house, or getting them like really nice, which really is nothing but someone who's an alumni there is renting out their rooms like an Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but I'm talking about the ones that's not getting any money at all and who've been promised money. Like there was a couple guys that just left Texas A&M again this year, so they never saw any of the money. People didn't want to, and I'm telling people that they don't want to listen. Oh, Texas A&M paying more money. I'm like, okay, because they're on their platform, and I'm typing in the chat, and I'm trying to tell them this was last year. I'm like, there's so many players said they were not getting their money. Caleb Williams from USC. People don't remember he said he's going to hold out this year. You know why he said he wasn't going to play? It took him forever to re-sign, I guess, his scholarship, whatever, to come back this year, because they owed him money. So now look at the ones that's not getting paid at all. And that's what everybody rushing. If I go to Power 5, I'm gonna get no. It's a whole lot of people that are not getting nothing, or they might, or their deal might be $1,500, and that's it. And that's what people, and that's what being sold on the and that's what being sold.
So they over
on
here
TV
selling
and on
pipe
social media.
dreams. It's just like how they do with rappers. So this is what they do with rappers. A lot of rappers, they have music videos where you see they got these chains on, they got money and they're flashing money and they got on all this name brand. And the name brand is basically procured through the stylist. The jewelry is rented through the stylist. The money that they're holding is not their money. And they got an advance and then they didn't get anything else and they ain't seeing nothing else. And behind the scenes, they're broke and scrambling for money. I'm not saying
and then
they're broke and scrambling for money, but what I am saying is that the FBS is propagating that all these students are making all this money so that the 4 and 5 stars will continue to commit. Meanwhile, it's probably some of the lower level FBS and FCF schools who are actually paying. Like you're going to have an NIL deal with a business and it's going to be a legit thing. I think these numbers are seriously inflated, and that's a crux in Colorado. You can't be over here saying Shador has $4 million worth of NIL and Travis has $3 million, but you want me to come up there and play because I have a chance to go to the NFL. I don't want that. I want the same deal that they're getting. Only 1.6 to the NFL, so let me get paid.
No. And I'm gonna tell you something else you can look up when you get a chance, right? Because look and see the people that's getting 15. Look and see how many of those people getting beat in NIL deals. Let me tell you what I mean. There was a guy, he's got like $1,500 and he signed with some company to give him $1,500. I forget, he ended up going to the league. And when it came to his contract, he owed that company, what was it, 20% of whatever he made for like the next 15 years.
Oh my God.
Because that's the deal. So whatever he made. So let's say his NFL career fizzle out. Or let's say he become a big podcaster and making money. His contract, now he might be able to get an attorney to get out of that because the schools can't get involved. So these young people are left out there on their own, and the people you never see play, they might get 500 and the people tell them, and you end up signing something to get that, and you owe these people this money for a very long time. And ain't nobody telling our young men the truth. We're on here just propagating, look how much money such and such is making on that NIL deal. But what about the ones that's not? And I'm going to say it, and we are failing our youth by not telling the truth. We are failing our youth when we want to sit here and try to chase other people's dreams and have our children doing that and have our youth doing that. And we ain't telling them the truth about what's actually going on over there and what these people are doing to our youth. We are failing them. We got to tell them the truth.
So it's not like it's not like how they say it is, basically.
No, so many people getting beat. No, it's not so many. So many. They are getting beat. They are getting beat. What's your email? Matter of fact, I'll send you some so you can see it. What's your email? I'll send you. I'll see if I can find some.
It's media@SheLovesThee.com.
Media, MEDIA.
At SheLovesThee.com.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can find and send it to you. Because what I do is when I watch videos, I try to check the sources so I can go back and read myself, because I don't just take people's words for stuff. And I'm gonna send you a video, and then you can find what he's talking about and everything that they're talking about in there.
Paid. I mean, I would understand why. So the power structure, they're really trying to re-straighten everything out. So that's why they're introducing this legislation about the $30,000 and the trust. And how are we going to exclude HBCUs? Not just all of FCS. They aren't looking at FCS. They're looking at strictly targeting HBCUs. Like this, and
Yeah, and what NIL did also let NCAA off the hook, because NCAA is still profiting off these people work, and the NCAA don't have to pay nothing.
Mm.
They completely got off the hook with the NIL deal, because the NCAA still don't have to pay nothing, and that's who people been fighting all these years for money, is the NCAA.
So then that's a case though to have NCAA disbanded, which they've been trying to do. So, and that's the thing. A lot of kids won't expose the NIL deals for fear that there'll be retaliation.
Say that again.
So someone needs to expose the NIL deals. So they're not going to do that because for fear of retribution, like for retaliation. So like I remember Coach Prime was saying that while he was at Jackson State, of course, they don't have NIL deals. They're not real. When you see my son, he has commercials, he has X, Y, and Z. Well, of course, you have a marketing giant behind you. So, of course, you're going to get your family all these commercials and stuff. But basically what he was saying is the NIL deals is basically them paying players. And these players are saying that they're having performance-based contracts. But if you're having a performance-based contract, doesn't that make you an employee?
Yep.
Like the NFL. If someone tells you, I'm going to give you $1 million, but you have to, that's what they do at the NFL. I'll give you $1 million. I'm going to give you $50,000. But in order to get $200,000, you have to have 700 receiving yards. And then the coaches are going to know what it is, and they're going to know not to throw you that many yards, because if we throw him that many yards, then we'll have to pay him.
Yep, and I'm gonna tell you something else that got him go. See, a lot of this stuff was brushed under the rug. And it mainly, a lot of it came from Texas A&M. Go back and look how they say some of these coaches, Jimbo Fisher, he had more players than anybody that came. But look at it, say, come to find out, some of the coaches were working the deals for the players. It was a couple players, they was promised a car and a certain amount of money. So they thought they got the car. Then they wonder where the money is. Come to find out, the coaches had worked the deals for them. They never got money, but they did get a car. Yep, they did a lot of them like that. But they brush it under the rug when these young men talk.
Oh, no, at minimum, if I'm a 5-star out of high school and your ratings, because that's what they do this little arms race between all the Power 5s to see who can get the number 1 spot. And me committing to your school is helping you get that number 1 spot. I'm getting the car regardless if I see it down. Because if you think about it, the freshmen's 4 and 5 stars that commit, most of them don't see the field. You can't tell somebody, I'm going to give you $1 million, but you have to meet these types of requirements. We all know that freshmen and even sophomores, most of the time, they don't even see the field. They're usually committing to an Alabama or a Texas A&M to sit behind someone. I would have been. And yep. I'm pretty sure the thing is, those students, they're 17, 18 years old. They're flipping the script on them, basically. Because they weren't doing these performance-based types of, I don't recall that back in the day they did performance-based contracts. They was making sure you had your plush apartment in your car and a little bit of money on the side. But now the amount of quarterbacks that went into the transfer portal, and they're saying that a quarterback costs $1 million. $1 million. How does it cost you $1 million and that quarterback has never played it down at your school?
Yeah. But you was right. Something you said earlier, NIL ain't even always like when they say NIL deal. That's why they say a NIL deal worth, right? Because it's worth $4 million. Because like you said, worth $1 million. Because it ain't always cash. Some of it gonna be cash, some of it gonna be things that you can receive. But I know these guys at Texas one. It was a few of them. They said they were supposed to get car and a cash, and they said they never got nothing but the car, and they was wondering where the cash happened. What happened to the cash? But they had coaches working the deals for them.
Ooh, and I think that's the difference before. I think that's a difference. Incentive-based contracts. It's interesting because I'm wondering, do the HBCUs have incentive-based NIL contracts?
I doubt it. Who you?
Well, I am getting ready to get off. Thank you, Brother Bakari, for coming on and talking. It's obviously it's going to be a big debate on the SWAC coaches. It's interesting that some of these coaching positions have been open for 2 weeks. We're in the hotbed of recruiting, and you still have Texas Southern that's open, Grambling that's open, Southern that's open, and we still don't have a head coach announced yet. So you already kind of any football coach that's coming into these different positions, they're already at a disadvantage. You're already on the coming into a program, you're already in shambles because you have to get all of your stuff organized. Yep, I agree. Get your coaches hired ASAP. They should have been announced. There should be, because I think early signing day is Wednesday the 20th, less than 2 weeks away. A coach needs to be announced by Friday. I was told that Coach McNair is not leaving Alcorn. When speaking with G in the summer, he said that at the time that they came to the table to re-sign a contract, no contract was signed. I don't know if they've since extended his contract or got it signed now. Of course, right now I'm in finals, but I will be doing a early signing day. It'll be an all-day ordeal. If we have students going live committing to Jackson State, I'll tune in to their lives. So make sure that you are liking the stream, but that you subscribe to my channel, because that early signing day is going to be an all-day event, which means I will be going live on and off all throughout the day, covering Jackson State's signees. It said, yes, Fred is out. What? Who said Fred is out? I didn't say that. I ain't heard that one. I have not heard that Fred McNair is no longer at Alcorn, which once again, like I said, that's half of the West right there. If you don't have Southern, you don't have Grambling, and allegedly Alcorn is in the mix somewhere. What the world? I'm not going to say that. Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you had stopped.
I feel like Fred McNair is still head coach. I ain't heard none of that. I mean, he went 7-4. What do they want him to do?
I hope he's still head coach.
Yeah, I don't think if the way that the West is set up and how they don't have their coaches in place right now, you have UAPB and Prairie View are the only two that are Prairie View, Alcorn, and UAPB have their coaches in place. For UAPB, you're expecting definitely a better season. So this is his second year to be able to bring in new talent and So we're going to have to see definitely progression from Coach Hampton. But when you have the whole West in limbo like that, the Swac West is looking pretty. The Swac East is looking to win every year for the next 2 to 3 years minimum. Go ahead, Brother Bakari.
Yep, that's why I think FAMU or Jackson State need to go to the West. The two.
Wait, what?
In the FAMU, one of that way possibly the two best teams will be playing for the SWAC championship by it instead of knocking each other out. Like, because FAMU won this year, 2 years before that was Jackson State. But who else beat FAMU in the SWAC? So if FAMU had been on the other side, the two best teams would have paid for the SWAC championship. That's why I say that.
Yeah, well,
that's why I say
send peas and carrots over there.
Yeah, send them over there. You send them over there. we can stay where we at. Just send them over. But I'm just saying, because I think it's going to be them two for the next few years. It's going to be them.
So
two.
you don't think? So you don't think Coach Willie Simmons is leaving?
No, not for one of those jobs. For what? I don't like. That's why. Okay, no, I don't think he's leaving. I believe, and I believe, and I'm hoping he's smart enough. That's why I'm saying I do believe he's smart enough to see that every job that black coaches got at these FBS schools, we always get the bottom of the barrel. We get their trash. And if I don't fix their trash in 2 or 3 years top, I'm fired. So it's best to stay where I am, where I'm building a program where I have I can make $1 million for 2 years, but I can make $400,000, $500,000 for the next 5 to 10 years. And it's my program that I built, and we are good. And I'm not going to clean out nobody. I'm not going to clean up their trash. That's why I was naming all those black coaches. We can't name a black coach that got a middle, not even a middle of the pack.
Well, I feel like Grambling is going. I mean, even if you hire all that talent that Q had built up over there is gone. Floyd Chalk just got into the transfer portal. He was a dog. And they weren't able to, you know how with TC, they try to make him keep some of these players on the roster. Well, we might as well go ahead and tag Jackson State. Where's Coach Morton? Go ahead and get him. Coach Morton, JSU. So, yeah. So y'all make sure y'all go get in Floyd Chalk's comments. He's eligible. He's in the transfer portal. Anybody see what's been going on at Virginia Lynchburg? What's been happening at Virginia Lynchburg? I haven't seen anything. Willie is a position or offensive coordinator at a PWI. So if I'm the head coach, do I want to go from head coach from making all the plays to being a positions coach? I wouldn't want to.
No, you don't want to go. You don't want to go backwards.
That's going backwards. I mean, unless you just get fired. Like, for instance, Coach Dancy, he went to Colorado and he's getting paid probably the same amount that he was getting paid to be a head coach at Valley. Has about similar losing streak between Valley and Colorado, but he's getting paid the same. He just got elevated to become a positions coach because he can't. I guess Deion can't recruit any more coaches out of the Power 5 circles. They don't want to go over there.
I think only black people in the HBCUs put it up with Deion disrespect. I'm being honest with you. I'm being honest with you. I don't think no other people gonna put up with Deion antics. I'm being honest with you. I don't think no other than the Swac. I'm just being honest. I don't think no other coaches would. I don't think that's why he couldn't beat a MEAC school. He didn't intimidate them. Most SWAC coaches was intimidated. He didn't intimidate South Carolina State nor North Carolina Central, so they could both out-coach him. I don't think he can get coaches to come, and I don't think nobody would put up with his. That's just my personal opinion, being from the outside looking in. I don't think nobody. Like, look how quick that dude Sean Lewis. Look how quick he left, that offensive coordinator. Look how quick the linebacker in his top recruiting coach.
Would you have that same issue with Ed Reed though and his antics?
Yes, I've already said that about Ed Reed. Don't nobody want that. Other people who would want Ed Reed. That's other people. At Kodak 1911, why could Willie only be a position of offensive coordinator at a PWI? Are you saying that's the only job they'll give him? I know you ain't saying that's all he good enough to be.
Oh, they're saying
but
no,
yeah, I don't
to hire him for the head position, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
So,
but yeah, that's why I think the problem is, you think all those even if you look now, ain't no coaches said nothing. It's look at the stuff the players coming out talking about. I don't believe no other folks will put up with what Deion do with his DJ booth in the locker room. With his DJ booth inside the locker room.
They don't have DJ booths in other locker rooms. That's not just.
No, everybody was really laughing.
Oh, I think maybe that's a cultural thing then. No. Okay.
No. Yeah.
I thought it was cool, but maybe that's something that's not. Maybe that's a cultural thing. I guess it probably didn't translate over to Colorado because of the music they were playing. Like, you can't play young NBA or NBA young boy and Kodak Black in Colorado. They want to listen to Highway to Hell or something, or some country music.
Well, they were playing it when the season first started, but then once they made that money back that they had already lost, you got to switch up. They want their own coaches. Oh, what was it? No, but the people that did start complaining about him trying to change their coach.
Oh. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Once again, we have our early signing day. Thank you, Brother Bakari.
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
No, thank you for coming on. And thank, of course, Dr. D and Doc for coming on. Everybody, you all have a good night.